Can you talk a little bit about the portal of eye gazing? This
Oh,
is
yeah, yeah.
so just some like framework here. It's something I'm curious about because I was in this world too, and I remember first being exposed to the spiritual practice of eye gazing at my yoga teacher training. And I remember thinking it was so beautiful, to see and be seen. And I finally realized like this was like a spiritual portal. But
Yeah.
even now, marriage therapists will tell you to eye gaze with your spouse. So I'm curious, like, is the practice itself bad, or is it like if you're filled with demonic spirits, you're gonna see demonic spirits manifest? Or like say like you are a Christian and you're filled with the Holy Spirit and you're eye gazing with your spouse, is it dangerous then you think? Or do you think tell us about eye gazing, your
Yeah, yeah. I
perspective.
love your curiosity so much. I think you ask the best questions. I think that's one of the reasons that people love your show so much is you ask the best questions and you're so yeah, no, this is
Thank
great.
you.
So I never actually studied the occult. I was trained in the spiritual realm from doing psychedelics and these spirits coming to me. So I never knew that I was learning eye gazing or anything, but I started naturally doing this on psychedelics. And with my fiance, actually, we've been together for 15 years. It's a whole other part of my story because we were together before I was Christian. And I'm Orthodox now and all this anyways, but we would do psychedelics for a while at first. So it got to the point where he wouldn't do them with me anymore because it was too intense. Like if you did
Yeah.
anybody who ever did psychedelics with me would be like, that was the craziest trip I ever had. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I would take people to the level that I would go to. Like the spiritual realm, which I knew how to do all of this stuff. Like it was crazy. It's crazy how I learned it all. Like I actually talk in my book that I think the spiritual realm started training me as a kid from lucid dreaming when I was
Wow.
little. Like it goes that far back. And what I was learning, I didn't know until later was I was learning. I mean, it's Kabbalah. It is like Alleister Crowley's magic. It's Crowley magic. He, was created, I think it's the Thelema religion, and Alleister Crowley was an occult ritual ceremonial magician, and he was alive, I think, like the late 1800s to the early 1900s. He was ironically a Christian before becoming an occultist, but he was in the same cult as John Darby, who wrote the pre-tribulation rapture, which is made up by man. It was Francisco Roberta started it in the 1500s, who was a Jesuit, and then John Darby in the 1830s pushed it, this pre-tribulation rapture that's not in the Bible. And Aleister Crowley was in that same cult, but Aleister Crowley did, this is going to tie to eye gazing. I always have a weird rounded road to get to something.
I love it because
I
it's
don't have any quick answers.
your rounded road is dropping so many little
I
information
know. I try
bombs.
to do that. I want to talk about yoga. I'm gonna drop yoga in here too. And so he did this working, and working is a series of magical rituals. And I did a working, and I realized that later
Mm.
when I was writing my book. That's why I write. There's ayahuasca work, contact, or ayahuasca working, then contact, and then hellhound. They were all part of the same ritual, working magic series of
Oh.
magical rituals. In that paragraph you first read from Hellhound, I mentioned it that I did the working. I didn't so again, I did Crawley magic. I didn't even realize I was doing it until afterwards, and I was getting keys from the spiritual realm. They told me I was going to get 13 keys. Well, in Kabbalah, you need keys to understand it. And I'm in a rabbit hole on Kabbalah right now, which is Jewish mysticism, which is literally behind Freemasonry, skulls and bones, every single thing that you see going on right now.
I've always wondered what exactly Kabbalah is. Like, I know it's something
It's
evil and
it's a form
satanic.
of Judaism. It's Jewish mysticism. It is literally what tempted Eve in the Garden of Eden. The tree of life that she bit from is the Kabbalah tree. So Lucifer fell. He was a fallen angel. He was the light bearer. God gave him like he would literally, like, God created the light. Lucifer was the light bearer. So Lucifer, that's why he thought he could be like God, because he had the light. He was moving it. You get what I'm saying? So he
Mm.
fell because of pride, because he wouldn't acknowledge that God created the light. He wanted to be the creator of the light. And a third of the fallen angels supposedly fell with him and came to this world. And Lucifer is running this world right now and trying to convince people that God doesn't exist, because because Lucifer, who is Satan, once he fell, is the light bearer. That was what he got. But that's why he's trying to erase God, because if you don't know where the light comes from, then you're going to think the light bearer is God. So I write a chapter in my book
Mm.
called Lucifer's Labyrinth, which really talks about all this, but it all ties to Kabbalah and their tree of enlightenment. That's what Eve bit off of. Lucifer got into her head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened. So, anyways,
I love
Um,
how you say in the book too how it all happens in our minds.
yep.
Like,
Yeah.
it's all happening in here, and some
Yep.
people, like, the very secularists who don't see the spiritual world are like, "Yeah, it's happening in your mind, you guys are crazy." Okay, but it's real, it's the real
No, it's
spiritual world
yeah.
happening
I
in
don't
the
even think we're
mind.
supposed to be thinking. Yeah, it's deep. But so with eye gazing, Aleister Crowley did a working called the Alma Trial working in 1921, where he used a medium, Margie. I read about her in my book. I can't remember her. Roddy Minor is her name, and he had to use a medium to do this. Women are very sensitive, right? So through her eyes, they must have been eye gazing. Lamb was pulled out, which is a gray demon, and you know the gray aliens. That was the first gray alien, and
I saw one when I was, like, 16, so
yep,
yeah.
I saw one too. I pulled one out of someone's eyes. A girl named Ruby in my book
Yeah.
actually pulled. So eye gazing is so what it is a method that Aleister Crowley used. It I don't want to like go into too much detail on how to do it because I don't want to teach people
Well,
magic,
people
but
better not do it because
don't do
obviously
it.
it's
No,
demons.
eyes. Well, we as Orthodox Christians, the Bible is so important to us. It's the most holy book ever. It's our foundation of truth, and then of course, but interpreted by the Spirit, church fathers and the saints. We don't
Yeah.
interpret the Bible ourselves. And so the Bible tells us that the eyes are the windows to the soul, basically, that they're the lamps, so this like the light comes out of there. So the eyes are a
Yes.
portal. Your ears are a portal. Your mouth, like you're not, you know, when you get chrismed, they put oil over the portals, right?
Yes.
And so the eyes are the windows of the soul, and you can see if someone's demonically possessed if their eyes are black, how
Mm.
black their eyes are. And I remember when I was first starting to see that in people, and my eyes used to be black. So when you're eye gazing, you're pulling the spirits. You can pull the spirits out of someone's eyes. That's how Ganesh first showed himself to me, as I pulled him out of my friend Alice's eyes, staring at her. So you have to be careful. Now, when it comes to marriage counseling, I heard something interesting about this. When we do confession, we don't go in with our husband or our boyfriend. You go in alone with your spiritual father. So the whole concept of marriage counseling, I heard, came out of, again, like the 1950s and the counterculture revolution when our medical system was changed. I don't even really believe in marriage
Okay.
counseling. I think that
All the
we
men are gonna be like,
yeah,
"Yeah."
I know. I actually think that we just go and we need to. I mean, I'm not saying it. I was in therapy forever, and it was really great for me at the time. But my counselor, I mean, like forever. Like I had a counselor for 8 years. She finally graduated me and said, "You're fine." I wasn't fine, but like I did it. You know, I did group therapies, everything, and they're wonderful. I'm not saying don't do them, but
Yeah.
do we need to like have a man and a wife sitting in front of each other with some kind of medium? Like, is it unless it's your spiritual father? Who would you be listening to for
Well,
advice on
no,
your life?
just each other, like,
Oh, okay. So
um, like, yeah, just in the privacy of your home, like,
yeah.
gazing into each
Okay.
other's
Okay. So
eyes.
it's not like in front. Okay. I was picturing like two people sitting on a couch with a counselor right there, gaze. You know what?
No,
But yeah,
but
no.
they
So
do
just,
recommend it. They
yeah.
do like,
Well,
there's a practice of, like, looking at each other for, like, a 4-minute set a 4-minute timer
oh
and just
gosh. I
look at
don't
each
know.
other.
That seems a little vulnerable for me. I probably would start laughing, but after like 10
My
seconds,
husband is so ADHD, he's, like, all over the place picking his
yeah.
nails, it
Yeah, I
doesn't work for
mean,
us.
if it's yeah, like if it's your when you get married, two become one. Your souls become one in the Orthodox Church. I believe in Orthodox marriage is the only true marriage ceremony. I believe in Orthodox baptism is the only true baptism, and I'm really staunch on that. So if you're married to somebody, yeah, you can. That's your two becomes one. That's the other part of your soul. That's the antithesis of the twin shadow, right? That twin
Yeah.
shadow crap. You're just supposed
Yeah.
to, because like in Orthodoxy, you're supposed to work out your salvation in one of two ways: either become a monastic and marry the church, or you get married and you work out your salvation. And I talk about in my book, there's a
Yeah.
chapter called What is Love? I talk about how this world tells us love is like a rom-com. You're going to find your perfect person. You're going to have this beautiful white wedding and this wonderful life, and everything's going to be just perfect. And if it doesn't work out, just get divorced and marry someone else. But then in God's definition of love is a little different. Love
Yeah.
endures, love is patient, love is kind, love is not boastful. Like
Yeah.
I actually think that marriage is just two people like committed to each other and loving each other and enduring the hardships of this life, and we need to be polished, and we need friction to be polished, and a relationship's not
Yeah.
going to be perfect. And I really think like everything that Satan, who was Lucifer, two of the same, has done in this world, especially with movies, is tricked us into thinking that love's going to be a certain thing, and that's not it, and we're just disappointed.
Yeah.
I just yeah.
Marriage
So
is
eye
the
gazing,
hardest thing I've ever Done.
Good. That's amazing. This is great for your salvation. That it's
Yes.
not supposed to be easy. We're supposed to suffer. If
Yeah.
you're not suffering, and I just read a Seraphim Rose quote that's like, if you're just relaxing and enjoying life, like, watch out. That's not like that's a little bit of self-worship. That's kind of atheist a little bit, like
Yep.
self-worshiping. But it's supposed to be a struggle. It's not supposed to be easy. Like our the saints tell us if we had a glimpse of paradise, we would endure every single trial and hardship here with joy, because what God has in store for us, what is coming, is beyond anything we could ever know. And we just need to take one day at a time, one second of eye gazing at a time. I'm not going to say if it's right or wrong. Do not open circles and eye gaze. That's a little bit
Yeah.
different. Don't, take psychedelics or, call in spirits and eye gaze. That's
Right.
different. And so, there's intention is everything.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to watch my full conversation with Kara Mosher on episode 107 of the Raised and Redeemed podcast. Until next time, I'll see you guys soon.